This is the fabric I'm going to be using to make this tutorial. I have 2 yards of fabric here, but if you're on a bigger size, I would advise that you have about 3 yards of fabric. This way you have enough fabric to work with. Now I am going to be folding this fabric into 4. I will be using the whole 2 yards, so I will just go ahead and fold it into 4. Now my fabric is folded into 4. As you can see, this area here does not have any cut, so this is going to be the center of our front and back, and this side with the cut will be the side. So like I said before, we're going to be taking this part here as the center. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to draw a straight line across the top to serve as our starting line, or you can also call it the shoulder line. Now I'm going to be taking a measurement from this line I just drew. I'm taking this measurement on the side to serve as our armhole depth. So I'm going to be going down by about 14 inches, or you can go down by more. It depends on how open you actually want it to be, but 14 inches is okay. So once you've gone down by that 14 inches, from the center you can measure like your hip measurement to know how much inches you are going to leave, because this is going to be a free dress. Now I have more than enough inches left, so from the side I will just go in by 2 inches. So I went in by 2 inches on this side where I just created the armhole, and I'm just going to take these 2 inches all the way to the end. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut out the upper part, as you can see, and I'll also cut out the side. I'll just make everything straight on this armhole area. As you can see, I'm just going to cut this area to make sure everything is straight. And then I decided to go down from the line I created on the armhole, so I just went down by about 1 inch, and then I will just continue to cut all the way to the end. Now when you're doing this, if you're working with a silk fabric, you want to make sure to pin it down, because if you don't pin it down, you're going to have a lot of issues, because they will keep moving from where you want them to be. You can actually see me using my phone to make sure that it's exactly where it's supposed to be. So now that I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and remove all the pins, and then after removing the pins, I opened up the neckline. You can see what I have here. So open up the neckline. The upper part is going to be just straight, because you did not cut any neckline, we did not go down by any inches, so it's going to be straight. That's how the neckline for this dress is supposed to be. So now I'm going to use my tape to take a measurement from one end of the upper part to the other end, that's the whole shoulder area, and divide it into 2 equal halves. So I used my tape to divide it, and I just got the midpoint. So now once you've done this, the next thing you want to do is you're going to divide your shoulder measurement into 2. Now if you want the neckline of the dress to be a little bit off the shoulder, you can add an extra inches to your shoulder measurement. So now for me, my shoulder measurement is 14, but I decided to use 15 here so that the neckline will be a little bit off the shoulder. So I'm going to divide 15 into 2 equal halves, and that's going to give me 7.5. So from the center point here, I'll mark 7.5 towards the left and 7.5 towards the right. So now once you're through with this, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to head over to the sewing machine and make a tiny stitch about 1 inch long in this area here and on this area here. Just these 2 points. We are not going to be making any stitch on the center, so just here and here, leaving the center open. So guys, I'm done making the stitch here, as you can see. So this is what it looks like, about 1 inch long here. I hope you guys can see, and the same thing on this side as well. So now once you're through with this, make sure that you leave the center open because that's going to be the neckline. So once you're through with this, you can open the whole shoulder area, shoulder neckline, whichever one you want to call it, and then you're going to go ahead and fold this side like this. When you open it up, it's going to look exactly like this. So what you have to do is to just go ahead and fold it in with the allowance that is left from the first stitch you made at the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in like this. You can pin it down if you want to, or you can just take it over to the sewing machine and just do it directly. So I'm going to do it through the neckline like this. So you fold it through the neckline until you get to the other end. You do it for this side, and then you also do it for these ends as well. And of course you have to do the same thing on this other end, and then finish up the sleeve areas as well, so here and here. So guys, I'm done making the stitches like I said I was going to do. So let me just open it up for you guys to see. So you can see what it looks like. I have stitched it on both ends, and I also went ahead to stitch the sleeve areas here and did the same thing on this other side as well. So once you're through with this, the next thing you want to do is to turn everything over to the wrong side, and we're just going to go ahead and join the sides. Now this is very easy. I'll just join the sides from the armhole all the way to the end, and I will do the same thing on this other side as well. So when I'm through with that, I'm going to go ahead and arrange the fabric and cut off the excess at the ends, so that I will also finish up the ends. Currently this material is too long for me, so I'll just cut off the excess at the ends as well. I am done stitching down the sides now. I hope you guys can see it. And I also went ahead to iron it out. So this is the upper part here, this is the side, and also I went ahead to finish up the ends. So basically you can wear this now as a Bubu Kaftan dress and it will fit you perfectly. But you know that this particular tutorial we are following, that the waist was a little bit tight. So how we are going to go about that is very simple. I've done something similar before on the channel as well. So just go ahead and arrange the upper part of your dress like I'm doing here. Make sure to arrange it properly, and once you've arranged it, you're going to take a measurement from the shoulder down to your waist. So take a measurement from your shoulder to waist, and whatever you have, mark it on this fabric. So my shoulder to waist measurement is 15 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it down here, as you can see. So I'll just mark it down here, and then I will just use it to draw a line across. Now I'll measure from one side to the other so that I'll be able to get the midpoint of this area here. So I'll just measure from one sleeve to the other sleeve, and I will divide what I have here into 2 equal halves. So now this is the center. Now once you've gotten your center, you're going to divide your waist measurement into 4. My waist measurement divided by 4 is 6. So from the center, I will mark towards the left and right, that's 6 inches. So yeah, that's basically how to go about it. Now the next thing you're going to do is you create your ropes that you're going to use to tie this around your waist on the inside. So I created my ropes. The length of my rope is about 20 inches long. You can make yours longer if you want to, okay? So now the next thing I'm going to do is to place this rope on both ends on the last marks that I have here. So I'm placing one. I pinned it only to the front part. So make sure you pin your rope only to the front part, not to the front and back, else you will not be able to wear this dress. So I pinned it only to the front, and as you can see, this is what I have. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to go ahead and just make a top stitch to secure this in place. So I'll just make sure to take only one part, that's the front, and just make my top stitch here and do the same thing on the other side. So after I was done with that, this is what I had. You can see where I made my stitch. But one thing I noticed was after I was done making this stitch on placing these ropes on the particular spot I marked earlier, I noticed that it was actually too down on my waist, and that was because this dress is off shoulder, so the waist now went down more than it's supposed to be. So what I did was to remove the ropes from the area where I placed them earlier. I just took them up a little bit. That way it's no longer being too down. So I raised them up and I took them towards the sides. Okay, so instead of marking your exact waist measurements like I did when I was drafting this out, I would advise that you remove like 1 inch from your actual waist measurement so that it will sit perfectly on you. So once you're through with this, as you can see, I've turned everything over to the right side. You will notice that the sleeve is very wide. The sleeve area is very wide, and if you raise your hand, it's going to show your body. So what you're going to do here is you're going to come down by your armhole depth. For me, my armhole depth is 9 inches, right? But I'm going to be using 10 here because this is a free kaftan. So I'll just pin down this 10 inches point. What I'm going to do here is to just make a small stitch very close, about 3 inches away from the end of your sleeve. Just make a stitch here. You can take it all the way to the end of the sleeve, or you can just make the stitch just where the pin ended, just here, or you take it down. Okay, this way when you raise your hand, you're not going to be having your bra or your body showing. So make sure to just make a top stitch. This particular top stitch is both the front and the back together, just to secure it in place. Same thing for the other side as well. And then that'll basically be all for the making of this dress. When you put it on, you will need to tie it around your waist, just like you see me doing in the beginning of this video. So you can see the little point here. So if I open up this area, you see it's actually tightened, it's not all opened. So yeah, that's basically all for the making of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.